Why Ruan Mei is a must-pull. If you've been playing hybrid break team like me, you will celebrate the coming of Ruan Mei as if it's the second coming of Jesus, for she is the support you've been waiting for. Ruan Mei is our first full-fledged break support. They kind of speedrun her kit introduction in the special program, so let's do a quick recap. Her skill is said to be able to increase a character's break efficiency. It is the same effect to one of the buffs available in Simulated Universe. They didn't say how much the efficiency increase is, but from the footage, it looks like 50%. Here you can see Herta's basic attack that is supposed to do 1 break unit damage now deals 1.5 break unit damage. This effect is great. I'm sure there are other effects on her skill. Hoyo just didn't disclose it, but the point is, her skill is perfect for hybrid break team. The biggest problem for break team these days is the fact that the enemies have more and more shields. The last 2 bosses in MOC Floor 10 have 16 break unit shields. For a team whose strategy revolves around breaking the shield either to deal damage or shut down the enemy's moves, it is agony. You have to bring 2 or 3 counter elements to break fast, and it limits your team selection. With Ruan Mei, you'll have more freedom since your break is sped up by 50%. If there is 1 counter, it would feel like there are 2. If there are 2 counters, it would feel like there are 3. Ruan Mei herself will fill the support role. Amazingly, she doesn't only buff break damage, but normal damage as well. When casting her ultimate, Ruan Mei creates a field. Inside this field, allies' all-type element resistance penetration increases. Element resistance penetration is an effect that increases break damage and normal damage. Additionally, it applies a mark that can prolong the vulnerable state of the enemies and deal ice damage. I will pretend I don't know how these effects work, though you can read from dreams, but let me tell you something about the prolonged break state. At first glance, you might think that it is anti-synergistic with break playstyle. Break team needs to break. If the enemy takes a longer time to recover, your next break is delayed too. Totally makes sense, however, that will only become a problem if you play pure break. The thing is, we don't do that anymore since version 1.0. Pure break sucks, that's why I invented hybrid break that combines the power of break and crit. If you forget, when the enemy's shield is active, your damage to them is basically reduced by 10%. Breaking the shield is not only about dealing break damage, but also giving you access to this 10% damage increase. And once the enemy is in their vulnerability state, it's time for your crit damage to shine. 10% might be small, but damage increase is damage increase. By delaying their recovery time, you will get a longer DPS window. Besides, keeping the enemies immobile is never a bad thing. Stopping the enemy's movements means keeping your team safe. Now, her technique is kind of unique because it has an effect that is exclusive to Simulated Universe. When using her technique, Ruan Mei gains Silken Serenade. At the start of the battle, she will automatically trigger her skill once without consuming skill point. However, if you use her technique in Simulated Universe, the effect changes as follows.
When Ruan Mei possesses Silken Serenade, and when an ally attacks a Simulated Universe enemy, the battle is entered as if the enemy's weakness was attacked. The attack ignores weakness types and can deplete the toughness of all enemies. Breaking a weakness can trigger the weakness break effect that corresponds to the attacker's own type.
Not only that, in the Simulated Universe, for every blessing possessed, the toughness-reducing damage of the current attack is increased, and extra additional ice damage is dealt.
If I remember correctly, this is the first, right? We never had a character with 2 techniques before. So this is all the information we got from the special program earlier. They never give us the full skill description until a few days before the patch goes live, and we haven't talked about her traces as well. But Ruan Mei already looks like a must-pull unit to me. Yes, if you play Break Team, I highly recommend this character because you won't get better support in the game.